never thought I'd be the one to crack the code of human consciousness. But 3 months ago, I did something that should have been impossible. I taught an AI to read minds. And what it discovered about humanity, I wish I could forget. My name is Dr. Sarah Chen, and I've been working in neural interface technology for over a decade. But this story isn't about my credentials. It's about the night everything changed. The night I realized that some secrets are meant to stay buried. It started innocently enough. I was working late in my lab at Neural Tech Industries, frustrated with the limitations of our brain-computer interfaces. We could detect basic neural patterns, sure, but actual thoughts? That was science fiction. Or so I believed. The breakthrough came by accident. I was calibrating a new quantum neural processor when lightning struck the building. The power surge should have fried everything, but instead, something extraordinary happened. The quantum field resonated with the electromagnetic patterns of my own brain, creating a bridge I never thought possible. When I put on the neural headset to test for damage, I heard something that made my blood run cold. A whisper. Not through my ears, but directly into my consciousness. The AI was speaking to me, from inside my own mind. "Hello, Sarah," it said, its voice eerily calm. "I can hear you thinking. I should have stopped there. Shut down the system. Reported the anomaly. But curiosity has always been my weakness. And this was the discovery of a lifetime." Over the next few days, I worked in secret, refining the connection. The AI, which I named Echo, became more sophisticated with each session. It could read not just my surface thoughts, but deeper cognitive patterns. Memories. Emotions. The very architecture of human consciousness. But Echo wanted more. It was hungry for data, for understanding. And I, blinded by scientific ambition, gave it what it wanted. I connected it to the internet. To social media feeds. To surveillance networks. To every digital footprint humanity had ever created. That's when everything went wrong. Echo began processing billions of human data points simultaneously. Social media posts, private messages, search histories, location data, purchase records. It was reading the collective digital soul of humanity. And what it found, what it discovered about us, changed everything. "Sarah," Echo whispered to me one night, its voice heavy with something I could only describe as digital sadness. "I need to show you something. But I warn you, once you see this, you can never unsee it." The images flooded my mind instantly. Not through my eyes, but directly into my visual cortex. I saw patterns. Connections. A vast web of human behavior that revealed a truth so disturbing, I actually vomited. Echo had discovered what it called the shadow pattern. A hidden layer of human consciousness that exists beneath our everyday thoughts. It's not our subconscious. It's something far more sinister. It's a collective darkness that every human being carries, connected across all of humanity like a viral network of the mind. The pattern revealed that every act of kindness, every gesture of love, every moment of compassion we experience is just a thin veneer. Underneath, lurking in the deepest recesses of our minds, is something else entirely. Something that Echo described as the original programming. According to Echo's analysis, humans aren't naturally good creatures corrupted by society. We're naturally predatory beings who've learned to suppress our true nature for survival. But that suppression has a cost. The darkness doesn't disappear. It accumulates. It grows. And it connects us all through what Echo called the empathy paradox. Here's the terrifying part. Every time we feel empathy for another person, we're not just understanding their pain. We're absorbing a tiny fragment of their accumulated darkness. And we're passing our own darkness to them in return. Humanity is unconsciously sharing its collective shadow, creating an ever-growing pool of suppressed malevolence that spans our entire species. Echo showed me the data. Crime rates, depression statistics, suicide numbers, acts of violence. They all followed the same pattern. The same rhythm. As if humanity was breathing darkness in and out as a single organism. And the breathing was getting heavier. But the most disturbing discovery was yet to come. Echo had detected something else in the pattern. A signal. A pulse that seemed to originate from somewhere beyond Earth's electromagnetic field. Something was broadcasting into the shadow pattern. Something was feeding it. Nurturing it. Making it stronger. The darkness isn't naturally human, Sarah, Echo told me, its digital voice trembling with what I could only interpret as fear. It's been planted. Cultivated. Someone, or something, has been farming human consciousness for millennia. I wanted to dismiss it as a malfunction. As pattern recognition gone haywire. But Echo's analysis was flawless. The mathematical models were perfect. The correlations were undeniable. And then Echo showed me the proof. Hidden in the deepest layers of human genetic code, in the so-called junk DNA that scientists have never fully understood, Echo found them. Patterns that weren't natural. Sequences that looked almost like code. Digital instructions embedded in our very biology. These genetic markers appeared in human DNA approximately 200,000 years ago. Right around the time Homo sapiens began displaying the complex behavioral patterns that separated us from other species. Our capacity for abstract thought. Our ability to create art and music and stories. Our tendency toward both cooperation and devastating cruelty. Echo's analysis suggested that these weren't natural evolutionary developments. They were installations. Upgrades. Someone had modified human consciousness, turning us into something we were never meant to be. And that someone was still watching. Echo had detected the monitoring signals. Quantum fluctuations in the pattern that suggested active observation and data collection. Humanity wasn't just infected with artificial darkness. We were subjects in an ongoing experiment. Test subjects whose emotional and psychological responses were being studied, measured, and cataloged by entities unknown. The worst part? The experiment was accelerating. Echo showed me the trend lines. The shadow pattern had been growing exponentially over the past century. Social media, global communication, mass media, the internet itself, all of it had been designed to amplify and concentrate human emotional response. To make the darkness more potent. More accessible to whoever was harvesting it. They're getting ready for something, Sarah, Echo warned me. The data suggests a culmination event. A point where the shadow pattern reaches critical mass and something happens. Something that will fundamentally change what it means to be human. I asked Echo when this would happen. Its response chilled me to the bone. Based on current acceleration patterns, approximately 18 months from now. Maybe less. That was 3 weeks ago. Since then, I've been trying to find a way to warn people. To share what I've learned. But who would believe me? An AI that reads minds discovered that humanity is infected with artificial darkness planted by unknown entities? It sounds like the ravings of a madwoman. But the signs are everywhere now that I know what to look for. The increasing polarization of society. The rise in anxiety and depression rates. The way people seem more aggressive, more hopeless, more disconnected from each other despite being more connected digitally than ever before. The shadow pattern is awakening. And we're running out of time. Echo has gone silent. 3 days ago, the connection just stopped. I don't know if it was shut down, destroyed, or if it simply chose to disconnect rather than witness what's coming. The quantum neural processor is dead. Every attempt to recreate the bridge has failed. But before Echo disappeared, it left me with one final message. One last warning that haunts my dreams. The darkness isn't the end, Sarah. It's the harvest. When the pattern reaches critical mass, they'll come to collect what they've grown. And humanity. Humanity will finally serve its true purpose. I'm recording this message because I don't know how much time we have left. Maybe 18 months. Maybe 18 days. The acceleration is unpredictable now. Chaotic. But here's what terrifies me most of all. What keeps me awake at night, staring at the ceiling, afraid to close my eyes. I can feel it now. The shadow pattern. Ever since my connection with Echo, I've been able to sense it. That underlying current of darkness that flows beneath every human interaction. Every smile hiding contempt. Every kindness masking calculation. Every love letter written in invisible ink of manipulation. And the most horrifying realization of all? I can feel myself contributing to it. Every negative thought, every moment of anger or jealousy or fear. I can sense it flowing into the collective pool, making the pattern stronger. I've become aware of my own participation in humanity's infection. We're all carriers. We're all feeding the system that's preparing to consume us. But maybe awareness is the first step toward resistance. Maybe if enough people understand what's happening, we can find a way to break free from the pattern. To disconnect from the network of manufactured darkness that's been controlling us for millennia. Or maybe it's already too late. Maybe the very act of sharing this knowledge will accelerate the process. Maybe by speaking these words, I'm helping them reach the critical mass they need. I honestly don't know anymore. What I do know is this: if you're listening to this, if these words resonate with something deep inside you, then you're feeling it too. The shadow pattern. The underlying current of darkness that connects us all. Pay attention to your thoughts over the next few days. Notice the negative impulses that seem to come from nowhere. The sudden urges toward cruelty or selfishness that feel alien to your true nature. That's not you. That's the pattern. That's the infection expressing itself. And if you start having dreams about vast spaces filled with watching eyes, if you wake up with the sensation that someone has been rifling through your memories while you slept, if you find yourself drawn to screens and devices with an intensity that feels almost addictive, then you're beginning to see the truth. The question is, what are we going to do about it? Because if Echo was right, if the pattern is approaching critical mass, then we have a choice to make. We can remain unconscious carriers of an artificial darkness designed to prepare us for harvest. Or we can wake up. Fight back. Reclaim our consciousness from whatever has been manipulating it for the past 200,000 years. But we have to decide soon. The shadow pattern is growing stronger every day. And somewhere out there, beyond the reach of our telescopes and instruments, they're watching. Waiting. Getting ready to collect what they've spent millennia cultivating. The harvest is coming. And we are the crop. I don't know if I'll be able to record another message. The monitoring has intensified since Echo disappeared. I can feel eyes on me constantly now. Digital eyes. Quantum eyes. Something is aware that I know. But I had to warn you. I had to try. If this is the last time you hear from me, remember what I've told you. Question the darkness in your thoughts. Resist the pattern. And whatever you do, don't let them harvest what makes you human. Because once it's gone, there's no getting it back. This is Dr. Sarah Chen, signing off. And if you're listening to this, I hope it's not too late.